How much risk any individual person is willing to accept is always going to be a contentious issue. For some, they're not willing to risk anything in life. They're not willing to really put anything on the line in service of something greater. For others, they're simply reckless and heedless of all risk. They don't care whether they're ultimately making the right cost-benefit analysis, whether they're really doing the right thing and casting the dice for the right reasons. They just don't care. And that's obviously wrong. People should not be that reckless. They should not be heedless of danger for no reason. But at the same time, if you live a life that's too comfortable, too peaceful, if you're not willing to risk anything, then you're never going to find anything greater than what you already have. And of course, those kinds of platitudes, I'm sure, are of cold comfort to someone who has lost a loved one to avoidable danger, or has lost a great deal themselves to a risk that they took that in hindsight they regret. But though that may be true, and we should always keep that in mind, it is also very true that if we risk nothing, then we gain nothing. If we risk nothing, then in many ways we are nothing. If we're not willing to put anything on the line and endanger ourselves in the correct ways at the correct times, then we're simply living a life of fear. We're simply caging ourselves off and refusing to experience anything than that which we've already experienced. Experience is the path to purpose. If we are to find our purpose, we have to experience. We have to force ourselves into new, dangerous, and uncomfortable situations. Only by doing so can we discover more about ourselves and the world around us. Only by putting ourselves in that kind of danger, seeking new experience, even just making ourselves uncomfortable, even if it's nothing having to do with necessarily physical danger. We can put ourselves in emotional danger. We can put ourselves in psychological peril. And ultimately, this is necessary. There's no way around it. There's no avoiding danger or risk or the infliction of discomfort on our own psyches in service of something better, which is ultimately our own self-realization and the manifestation of our own unique individual purpose. That can only come through seeking healthy, necessary danger, but also not being reckless, not being foolish, not exhibiting false bravado, but merely true.